Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday. And here's another you don't want to know story. It's called Carry On Penguins. In 1910, surgeon and zoologist George Murray Levick joined the Terra Nova expedition to the Antarctic, led by Robert Falcon Scott. While Scott was lucky enough to die on the trip, Levick was cursed to live on, knowing precisely how horny penguins are. Levick spent the summer of 1911 to 1912 at Cape Adare, northeast Antarctica, smack bang in the middle of an Adelie penguin colony. This was an exciting opportunity for a scientist to observe the penguins' behaviour and win plaudits for describing it, or, just on a human level, to say whatever the repressed Edwardian equivalent was of, "Oh, look at the echo penguins!" Probably, "Hark, walkie bird!" Unfortunately, he was unable to do either. As it turned out, this particular type of penguin was a nasty little pervert bird, too disgusting to be documented in any science journal of the day. Staying for an entire breeding cycle, Levick observed acts which were pretty vanilla by today's standards, yet would have made people at the time claw their own eyes out as recompense to God, as well as a bunch of acts so depraved that even David Attenborough would lose his knighthood were he ever to narrate them. As well as the usual stuff like engaging in promiscuous sex with multiple partners, sex between two males, and wanking themselves against a rock. If you're If you're an Edwardian right now, you'd be asking your butler for the fainting couch. He saw the cute little penguins participate in behaviour truly not befitting of any creature that's born wearing a tuxedo. We're talking R. Gang R. Necrophilia with females that had been dead for well over a year, God, and fatal sexual abuse of chicks in front of the parent birds. They never showed this in Happy Feet. They couldn't even be bothered to do it as a montage or backdrop to a musical number for scientific accuracy. Disgusted, Levick would only write about the penguins in Greek to keep the secrets away from those not educated enough to speak the language, or anyone who didn't happen to be Greek. Apparently they could learn about penguin necrophilia as much as they liked. Levick couldn't give a shit. In one event that he found particularly harrowing, he watched as one female penguin, half dead, dragged herself across the rocks on her belly using her flippers for propulsion as her legs trailed uselessly behind her. He was wondering whether to kill her out of mercy when penguin after penguin ran up and, without any hesitation, tried to mount her. An image so disturbing it isn't even lightened by imagining any of the participants as Pingu. A few days later, I'm sorry, poor penguin, I shouldn't be laughing. A few days later, he came back to find the penguin even more bruised and battered from the birds, which he dubbed hooligans, which is a bit like calling Charles Manson or Jack the Ripper a bit of a rapscallion the day after their spree. There's something quite heartbreaking about reading Levick's excitement at seeing the adorable birds up close, shortly before he was forced to write entries like, "This afternoon I saw the most extraordinary sight. A penguin actually engaged in sodomy upon the body of a dead white-throated bird of its own species. The act occurred for a full minute, the position taken up by the cock differing in no respect from that of ordinary copulation, and the whole act was gone through down to the final depression of the cloaca." In a subsequent experiment in 1974, a team of scientists tried to figure out what exactly the limits of these perverts were. D.J. Ainley and his team observed the Cape Crozier colony and found much of the same behaviour. So, naturally, they placed a frozen dead female in a nest to see what would happen. Of course, the answer was that the other penguins either did a bit of necrophilia or tried to shove it out the nest. During the course of the experiment, the dead penguin became damaged by repeat deployments, a sentence whose import can only be made worse by the following sentence. It was found that just the frozen head of the penguin, with self-adhesive white O's for eye rings, propped upright on a wire, with a large rock for a body, was sufficient stimulus for males to copulate and deposit sperm on the rock. As Levick puts it, there seems to be no crime too low for these penguins. The end. Don't forget to like and subscribe and press the wee bell notification. And a huge big thank you to all my subscribers, patrons and members. See you next week. Bye bye.